Hey guys, it's Bailey. Welcome back to the channel and thanks so much for tuning in to what's going to be a review of a couple of lip products from Kaylin Cosmetics. I applied to try these for free through Octoly. If you're unsure what that is, I will put a link in the description bar below so you can learn more. But basically, I applied to try these because I have never tried a peel-off lip product before, and they have something called a Cocoon Lip Stain that I was so intrigued by, but it also came with two other products, a gloss and a 4-in-1 lip pencil. So I'm going to talk about those today as well, but I mean, I think the real novelty here is the peel-off lip stain, so let's first start with that. The Cocoon Lip Stain retails for $22 and comes in 4 different shades. I picked the shade Devilish Rose. They also have a couple of other lighter pink shades and then one orange shade, which I was also really intrigued to try, but rosy pinks tend to be a safer shade for me, so I went ahead and did that. I'm wearing it today on my lips, and the idea behind this is that you let this stain your lips for 10 minutes in order to get a 10-hour wear payoff. The consistency here is very thick and goopy, and I'm not gonna lie, it has a funky taste. So the applicator here, you can see it's kind of like just a normal lip gloss applicator, and the first time I ever used this, I went ahead and applied it straight away, even though the instructions say to use a lip brush, and even though they sent me a lip brush, I was like, psh, nah, this is just fine for me. So I went ahead and applied it all over, but because it is so thick and goopy, it is very hard to get clean lines around the outside of your lips, and what I found in my first time using this is that the product shrinks, and so if you don't get all the way even a little bit further outside of the lip line, you will find that you haven't, by the time you go to peel it off, it hasn't quite covered or stained all of your lips. So word to the wise, a little tip that I have after using this a few times is it's good to use a lip brush, just to make sure you get a good precise application and it comes all the way to the edge of your lip so it actually mimics your real lip shape. The instructions here say that to get more color payoff or a more intense stain action, you need to layer the product up. I find that you can just leave it on for longer or shorter periods of time to affect that, and instead you should just plan on layering up the product because it is much easier to peel off when you do that. When it's thin, it kind of becomes more of a hassle to peel off, and to get one clean, like consistent peel and just like minimal mess, it's better to lay it on extra thick. So once that's applied, you sit with this on your lips for 10 minutes. It does not say you have to hold your lips apart. It doesn't say you can put them together though either. So I first started with holding my lips apart because I could tell when I closed my mouth that where my lips met, they would kind of peel the product. And so just to make sure it was consistent, I kept them apart, and then I just decided to keep my lips together and then just never open them until it was time to take them apart because it's way less of a hassle. Your mouth's like watering, you're drooling. It's not a good look. So put your lips together, keep them together. I didn't notice any inconsistent staining on the inner portion of my lips. After you're done for 10 minutes and it comes time to peel them off, I was so impressed by how pain-free this was. I've seen a couple of people when they do the peel-off products, they're like, it really hurts, it didn't have the color payoff. This was incredibly painless. The gel itself stays super soft, even though it solidifies and kind of congeals into one solid piece. It's still pretty soft. Once it's off, I am consistently impressed with the quality of this stain, how deep and rich it is, and yet it's like the natural texture of your lips still is there, right? Like it's a true stain in that your lips have this high intensity pigment, but they don't look like you're wearing any product over the top because effectively you're not. You've just stained that top layer of skin. As a result, it doesn't bleed, it doesn't transfer. I mean, it's a really, those 10 minutes of staining are kind of a pain in the butt, but once it's off, you get so much more wear time where you don't have to worry about transferring or bleeding or any of that kind of stuff. All that said, I did not experience 10 hours of wear with this, so it's not quite the time payoff that I would have hoped for sitting there with something on your lips for 10 minutes, but it did last a good amount of time. I would say, 7.5, maybe 8 hours. And that was through eating, drinking like solid meals, oily salad dressings, if you have like an olive oil based dressing, things like that, that would normally just absolutely kill any chance of a lip product lasting for a long period on your lips. This stain lasted all the way through that. It also wore really comfortably, especially since you can put balms and glosses and things like that over top to keep your lips nourished, and you don't have to worry about it degrading the lasting power. It really kind of comes off as it fades naturally throughout the day, if that kind of makes sense. Overall, very, very impressed with this lip product. If you are the kind of person that doesn't want to have to mess with reapplication throughout the day and you're willing to put in the time with those 10 minutes up front to ensure that you have really fuss-free lips all throughout the day. The one thing I do want to say though is you have to make sure, like if you have consistently dry or patchy lips, this is going to be a funky product for you because naturally the stain clings differently to those areas. Today even I noticed I applied this and the inner portion of my lips were a little bit dry. I haven't been drinking as much water as I should have, and so as I was peeling it off, not only did the stain kind of adhere to that part of my lips a little bit, it was harder to peel it off there, but also it kind of stained them more intensely. You really need to make sure your lips are thoroughly exfoliated, and Kaylin even has a lip prep product for this. I haven't tried it, so I can't speak to that, but just so you know, whatever lip exfoliator you have on hand, I'm sure will be perfect for this, but you gotta make sure you do it unless you want patchy lips. So that's lip product. Even though I think 22 bucks is a relatively steep price tag, I know there are frequently coupon codes for this when people get monthly subscription services like with Ipsy and things like that, so I'll be sure and share any code that might be available in the description bar below. If not, even though 22 bucks is steep, I do feel like this is a very worthwhile product if, like I said, it does everything you want in the way of a fuss-free lip. You get the pigment and the stain quality without worrying about glosses or balms affecting the wear time of the product. This, I think, is worth it, but still would recommend you look or hunt and dig around for coupons and stuff. Now let's talk about the lip brush I used to apply this. This is a product, I've never seen a brush or a product quite like this where it's a 4-in-1, even though it's one stick. It's 4 brush tips in one. So here's the brush that I used to, or the brush head that I used to apply, but then you pull this out, and on the other end you have, this is more of a tapered square edge brush. Then on the other end here, well, this is like a teeny tiny little detail lip brush, and then you have this big old buffing lip brush here on the end. And even though they aren't, you know, I wish there was some sort of like clicking mechanism that helped keep these in place, because sometimes, you know, you pull them out and something like that'll happen. For the most part, I think this is a pretty ingenious little tool when you really want to maximize how much a product can do, but still keep it all in one slim packaging. And if you use lip brushes, these could be used as detailer brushes for your eyes or things like that, but they do have a separate 4-in-1 eye brush for that as well. It retails for 22 bucks, so I feel like if you're gonna use all these lip brushes, it's well worth it for you. I personally don't use lip brushes. This is probably the only product I will ever use lip brush for because it's one of the only products in my mind that really commands the use of a lip brush. For the most part, I am all about just using whatever applicator comes with the lip product to get the job done, but this is, like I said, the product where I think a lip brush is a must, and a lot of us have them in our collection because they come in sets or things like that. So if you already have one, I don't recommend, you know, buying something like this, but if you love lip brushes or you love the idea of these various detailer brushes, I do think 22 bucks is pretty good for a 4-in-1 brush, especially when the quality is good. I mean, I haven't experienced any shedding. When using something like what's kind of a weird, harsh jelly-like product, it's still easy to clean off of these, so that's good as well. Yeah, not necessarily for me, but if you do enjoy products like this, especially lip brushes, this is, I think, is kind of a bargain for what you get. Then the last thing I want to talk about here is the lip gloss. This is just a clear lip gloss that Kaylin makes. It retails for 12 bucks. However, the rest of their lip glosses do retail at a higher price point. Looking at their website now, it looks like they're all 19. So 12 bucks isn't bad, but this is really just a plain old clear lip gloss. It's what I'm wearing over my lips right now. And even with just talking, I mean, I do feel like I'm running my mouth a lot right now, but even with just talking here, I feel like I can see the shine being diminished, you know, like it doesn't take a whole lot for this guy to wear away. On the plus side, it smells amazing. There is no taste to it, but it is like, especially after coming off of the Cocoon Lip Stain, where I was like, there is a funky something happening with this guy, which by the way, does wear away once you take it off. There's a slight taste, like the first couple times you lick your lips, but then it totally goes away throughout the day. This was a welcome change because it is like, I have a candle that smells like creme brulee. It's like that. So think of like a vanilla sugar cookie kind of. Oh my god, it's so good. So that was really welcome, and I do love how high shine glossy this is, but in terms of lasting power, and granted lip glosses aren't supposed to last all that long, but this especially I find I really have to continue layering it up in order to extend the wear of that high shine glossy effect. So especially for $12, when I think Maybelline still makes their Shine Shot, it's in that little tube and it's like, you know, this thick glossy texture that really lasts. It's like a clear lacquer for the lips. That I think retails for a little bit less, lasts a little bit longer. Doesn't smell nearly as good as this, but I don't think I'd spend 12 bucks for a product just for the smell. I really want it to function in the way it's supposed to function, as well as it can function for that price tag. So those are my thoughts on everything. Overall, I do recommend the Lip Cocoon. I do recommend the Lip 4-in-1 lip brush if that is something that you are interested in. But the clear lip gloss is kind of a meh for me. And that's kind of all I have to say about that. I do want to mention on the Octoly page, it says there might be a bundle for these things. Like when they had this on the page, it acted like there was a bundle where you could buy them all together, and it says it retails for like $50-some, which if you can get them all together is an absolute bargain, and I highly recommend, even if the gloss isn't my absolute favorite. You know, the value you get for what these all individually retail for, I think that's a steal. But yeah, if you're looking to pick these up individually, that's kind of where my recommendation is, you know, what I just mentioned before. So something to keep in mind, if there, between the time I'm filming this and end up posting it, if there is a bundle link, I will share that in the description box below. If not, just know that's kind of where I stand on all these. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys.